Alright, Charles, this shit drives me crazy. Let me see if I can bang the rest of this out in one or two, unfortunately, probably longer ones. I was less than pleased to know that David was involved in my life again, especially since Farzine had always I knew he was lying, told me, "You're not being followed. They've left you alone. Forget about it." I always knew when he yelled and lost his temper that, I was onto something. That man, he's like a child. He gets mad real easy. I only spoke to David for two reasons. To figure out who this motherfucker really was, legit, and to ensure no problems of any kind would come into Isela on the way of us life. Isela was an aspiring architect and a disciple. She's a genius, bro. She huge scholarship for architecture and shit. I was not about to let anything fuck that shit up. David began calling me and claiming that Yancey was involved in a human trafficking operation being run by a gang. This sounded bogus to me, so I tricked him into texting the most significant detail because I didn't want to look stupid reporting this to LAPD, and it sounded fucking stupid. I said, text him, "David, this human trafficking operation, is it MS13? And I knew if he said yes, even though I thought it was all bullshit, I had to go to the cops, because no disrespect to MS13, but y'all are some real-ass people. I did not want y'all, and I don't know how to put this, both not, in like a cordial way, like, y'all some serious motherfuckers. I didn't want y'all near this young lady at all. Too vulnerable, 18 years old, low self-esteem, kind of chubby, at-risk neighborhood. I was just not feeling that. I also didn't want to be with y'all, because MS13, is not my style." David replied in text message, "Yes." And I knew that even though I thought this was all bullshit, I had to begin going to LAPD myself, because David never helped me get the reason he said he was coming. He's like, "You and Isela need to get a restraining order on Yancey Mendez." I was done wasting time with that guy. Turns out all this shit was true, except David was actually running it, which we'll get to in a minute. But look, the entire world hated me because I didn't want MS13 coming from my 18-year-old girlfriend. She had already dumped me. She almost got away. Anyway, David began calling me regularly with an alarming and obsessive attention on Isela. I found this highly inappropriate, just because that's fucking weird. So I continued not contributing, but just engaging in conversation with him to find out what the hell he was really up to. David once called me frantically, almost like he was crying, "Rob, you have to give me some contact info for this girl. Who's we, can't find anything except for her Instagram." Why he's stalking her Instagram. "I can't help you protect her from Yancey if she's under 18 years old. I guess he doesn't protect kids. I was like, this doesn't make sense. I was like, I ain't telling this guy shit. Something is very wrong here. I didn't know it was what it was, because who would expect that shit? Isela mysteriously received some text messages that I allegedly had a lethal STD. She left me and we lost contact. Turns out I don't. I went to like 4 different clinics because I couldn't get a doctor's note, Farzine. Paid $400 for an STD test. Because I want to flex my paycheck too. Shit. Anyway, David then confessed something to me via drunken and late night text messages, and I went all out to strike back. We're going to summarize this a little bit. Basically, I wanted to get my concealed firearm permit to get some respect to my job. So I'm like, "David, I want to get my concealed firearm permit to get more respect at work. In LA County, you can only do that and get a CCW if you're a cop. You're a former cop. What do I do?" All I wanted to do was carry a hidden gun and protect good people. And his response, and this is all via text, y'all, was, "Rob, you don't want a CCW. My close friend who joined law enforcement with me and a couple, his crew or whatever, he was carrying with a CCW and he didn't even use it." I was like, why? Especially a cop knows why you have a CCW. For, protecting yourself and shooting minorities with a badge in your hand. That part's a joke, but protecting yourself, it exists for a reason. The Constitution doesn't protect guns for hunting, hell. Anyway, this made no sense to me. And David launched himself into a text confession. Now, this shit's whack, so I'm just gonna summarize it. And it's all with pictures, too. His co-worker on federal law enforcement was mugged by an MS13 gang member. He sent me pictures of the guy. His MacBook was stolen, and the Mara shot and killed David's friend and broke David's tender little heart. And he lost his mind. David bought their passwords from Apple, confessed all of this stuff in text, stalked the MS13 guy online, and pretended he wanted to meet up and purchase the MacBook. At this point, I was like, this guy's a retard. I don't know what his deal is, but he's definitely retarded. And he showed me pictures and interactions he had with this guy and identified him with the tattoo on the middle of his right forearm. He blurted out, I'm like, bro, I know what that tattoo is. You're an idiot. David said, confessing text messages, this Mexican, who was clearly Salvadoran, David, I date Latinas, I can tell these people apart, clearly Salvadoran, retard. David wrapped this man in fucking duct tape and graphically described how he tortured this victim now in the back of his truck. And I'm not defending the guy, like, he killed his friend, that's not right, but David lost his composure and that makes him look like a bitch. This included ripping duct tape on and off this guy's lips and pouring salt on the raw flesh. Keep in mind, they did that shit in that joke movie Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. Like, this is dumb. That's what David did to this guy. Why would I never be intimidated? Because Kung Pao didn't scare me. Then he's like, this guy escaped to Mexico, so I bribed Mexican officials to bring him back to me to torture him some more. And at this point, I'm just like, bro, if you killed him, don't tell me, especially in a text message. Far from the first friend I would have that had killed somebody, but I don't want to know about it in a text message. David, you're so dumb.